Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to a weekly recap on unfinished business with Jacob Murchison and Malcolm. Go, sir.
Love the intro. Love the intro.
Not too tired to do this podcast, or
Why would I be tired? You're the one
was
who
it
woke
just
up at 6 a.m. to
grinding, right?
golf.
Grinding, right?
Yeah, I had a grinding time for Colm at the courts. But I overcome, I achieve, I prosper. So I'm here today.
Without a couple whining and crying here and there, but no, there's no picture on the scorecard, right? No picture on the scorecard. No one cares.
What
But
did you get? 84 today?
yeah, it was tough. Tough go of things. But that's why it's a 3-round tournament, not one. So we're starting off with baseball again to start it off. The Miami Marlins COVID outbreak seems to be taking control of everything sports over the last week. So as of right now, there's up to 20 positive cases on the team. So if you do the math, that's more than half the team. It's got COVID.
Yeah.
So there's up to 18 players and 2 coaches that have it right now. All games for the team have been postponed until Monday. I think we might see that go a little longer, judging that no one seems to be getting better from this. And as well, they caught the virus, the outbreak started when they were starting a series against the Philadelphia Phillies. And Phillies games have been postponed for the rest of the week due to 2 staff members that tested positive, one being a coach, one being a clubhouse member. So what is your take on the entire situation here with baseball?
They should have had a bubble. Look at the other leagues. Look how they have 0 new cases for 3 straight weeks now. 0 new cases. The bubble works, and if you continue to just keep doing what you're doing, the season's going to be over. You're not going to have baseball this year. It's just going to be a write-off, and there's going to be no season. So I think that they just have to wake up. MLB, wake up. Jeremy Roenick. It's just about time. Tell me I'm wrong. Does the bubble work?
Well, it's proven that it works.
Exactly. It's proven, so why not do it? Why didn't you think of it? I don't know. Just ego.
You think it's going to shift to a bubble?
I don't know. It's going to take.
Or if it's really worth it.
I don't think you can at this point because it takes a long time to get that bubble prepared for everyone and get all those tests done for everyone. Not even the players, but everyone who's going to be part of the bubble, like all the employees and whatnot. So honestly, I don't see it happening. I think they should just write off this season because it's not looking too good.
The Marlins right now, if they were to, all the teams have a 30-team taxi squad. So that's kind of made up of really subpar minor leaguers that have nothing better to do because there's no minor league season. So with 20 of their regulars being caught in COVID, you're going to see, I would say, the bulk of the team be minor leaguers. So it really isn't competitive. And Miami's already bad as it is.
Exactly.
So with all that taking accounted for, do you think there's going to be a full baseball season?
Nope.
So no commissioner's trophy at the end of the season?
Nope. Nothing.
I think the commissioner is too hard-nosed because Rob Manfred is really committed on having a full season no matter what. And I can see why baseball players have opted out, like David Price being the most notable. They're not putting player safety number one.
Yeah.
They are committed to having a full baseball season, and they say screw it to having more than half of a team test positive for coronavirus.
Well, Manfred, I thought even said today that there probably won't have a full baseball season.
He's not quitting on the season, is what he said. I'm not a quitter. Players need to smarten up.
He should quit. He needs to smarten up.
And in the wake of all this news, you saw today Brewers outfielder Lorenzo Cain has opted out of the season.
He's opted out.
Which I won't be surprised to see a lot more players do that.
Yeah.
And as well, the Cardinals-Brewers series that was scheduled to take place this weekend from Friday till Sunday has been postponed due to positive tests on the St. Louis roster. All we know is that it's 2 staff members that tested positive. We haven't figured out if they're coaches or they haven't figured out if they're players or if they're clubhouse staff. But the lure of social media right now that's kind of taken over was Dodgers relief pitcher, former Boston Red Sox player Joe Kelly, being suspended 8 games for intentionally throwing at Astros players Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa. This was fantastic. This is
amazing.
Joe Kelly said to Carlos Correa, "Nice swing, bitch," before the bench is cleared. Dave Roberts was also assessed a 1-game suspension. Dusty Baker has been fined. If anybody has been living under a rock this last week, Joe Kelly threw a 96-mile-an-hour heater at the head of Alex Bregman before walking him, and threw behind Carlos Correa before an absolutely disgusting breaking ball, if I must add, before it did one of the cry face. It was hilarious. So do you think the suspension is justified?
Not at all. Did he hit them? No. Uh, did these players get suspended for their cheating in 2017? No. So you're gonna this translate. Let's say it was a regular season, right? A 160 whatever game season. You would this 8 games would be translated into 22 games, which is quite a long time to be suspended for missing a wild pitch, you can kind of call it, and making a face and saying nice swing pitch or F you. He said F you at the end of it as well. I don't think it's justified at all. He shouldn't have been suspended. It's kind of soft on the MLB for not disciplining cheaters, but disciplining someone he didn't even hit anyone. He didn't. If
I
he
think
hit
he
him,
should have been suspended, but
you're
not for 8
crazy.
games.
No,
Okay,
I don't
first,
think he's
there's way
suspended.
better ways to handle it than gunning at somebody's head. You can kill somebody if you get hit with a 96-mile-an-hour heater. Like throw him at the back, throw him in his ass. I'm fine with that, but to the
Maybe he was
head,
aiming there. Maybe he
to
was
the
aiming
head.
there.
Absolutely, he was aiming there.
No, I think he was. I think the pitch just came out wrong,
No.
but he was aiming at that. He wasn't aiming at their head
And where is Joe? Like Joe Kelly has no business being the person to do it because he came from
because
your
he
Red
wasn't on the
Sox.
team. Yeah, he wasn't
No,
on the team
he was on
in
that
2017.
2007. When did they win? 2017, 2018, when they won the World
2017.
Series. And who was the
Oh,
coach? Alex
2018.
Cora, who got
Cora, yeah.
fired because of this.
Yeah.
He should not have been the person to start this. It should have been like he has no
But
place
but
to
maybe
do
there's
it.
some bad blood in between the players that we don't know about. You never know. Like we don't live their lives. Maybe between them that they had some bad blood and they were chirping back and forth prior to the game or something about it like that. So who knows? We don't know all the details, but in my opinion, you think it's justified. I don't think it's justified.
Okay, 8 games is a bit much, but he should be suspended for throwing at a head. Throwing at someone's head is like it's crim. Well, you know all about helmets to heads, right?
Yeah, I do, but that's when he actually made contact. This didn't even make contact.
The
So,
intention was there.
so
But we stick with pitchers, and Blue Jays sensation Nate Pearson dazzles in his MLB debut. He went 5 innings, throwing 75 pitches, giving up 2 hits and 5 punchouts. Hardest pitch recorded at 99 miles per hour for a starter, which is unbelievable. And not to mention, he was pitching against 3-time NL Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer. Sign of things to come for the Jays ace.
yeah, all I could see on my Twitter feed was Nate Pearson, Sid tweeting out like 5 tweets about the guy, and then comparing him to some legendary pitchers who started out at what? How old is he? 24,
23.
23. So
A
some other
stud.
pitchers. Yeah, so I think it is some good things to come for the Blue Jays organization.
Yeah, it's I think very rare to see a starting pitcher regularly throw close to 100 miles an hour. He's the highest recorded pitch he's thrown ever. It was 104, which is ridiculous. That's our oldest Chapman category. Nate Pearson's going to be in the league for a long time, hopefully in a Jays uniform. But he is MLB's number 8 ranked overall prospect, and he's, I think, the highest overall prospect to be playing right now because they sent down the number 2 overall prospect from the Dodgers to not play this season. So hopefully he can still play some pitches. Obviously, if the season's shut down, different story, but hopefully he can get some more reps in. Jose Reyes officially retires. He was a 4-time All-Star, 16 years in the major leagues. Played for, obviously, he's more recognizable with the New York Mets. He played with the Florida Marlins back in the day. The Toronto Blue Jays, remember that blockbuster deal when that happened? And the Colorado Rockies. Atlanta Braves outfielder Nick Markakis is going to be returning to the team after initially opting out of the season due to coronavirus concerns. He said that he saw most of his teammates risking their lives to play, and he thought it was selfish on his part not to rejoin them. Could you think there'll be more players to follow?
To start coming back.
Yes.
Uh, I don't know. I feel like this is the first time I've heard of someone, right, who's already opted out to rejoin the team. I don't see it happening in a lot of cases. Maybe a few of them will be like, "Oh, what am I doing? Like, I need to like even for any other sport, like, oh, I need to be playing the sport I'm doing. Like, oh, I can't handle this. Maybe, but for most cases, I don't think a lot of people are gonna do this. If they opt out, they're opting out for a reason and for their family. So no, I don't see this happening more often.
Very interesting take. Patrick Mahomes becomes a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals. He is now the youngest owner in sports history. Unbelievable. Major League Baseball and the Players Association agreed to suspend players who still signs without pay or service time. This is only about, I don't know, 8 months overdue.
Yeah,
Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals has been cleared to play by the team by their doctor personnel. He is waiting to be cleared, obviously, by the DC Health Department before he can play. Obviously, we all know that Juan Soto was tested positive for coronavirus on the first day of the season. So he'll hopefully be able to get back and play as well. Aroldis Chapman is also being deemed cleared to play after he was diagnosed with coronavirus.
good news.
Shane Bieber is sizzling to start off the MLB campaign. The Cleveland pitcher has recorded 27 strikeouts in his first two starts, which is tied for the most strikeouts in his first two games in Major League history. Kind of an unknown. Do you know who Shane Bieber was to start off the season?
No, not really. No. I thought that was a typo. Justin Bieber's cousin or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Cleveland's got a very underrated pitching staff. Obviously, you lost Corey Kluber in the offseason to go to
Yeah,
Texas, but they have a sensation right now in Shane Bieber. You have Mike Clevenger, who throws some serious high 90s heat. You have Carlos Carrasco, who's coming off a cancer scare, but he's back and pitching well. So hopefully, maybe they can turn some heads. They also have the heir to the Lindor chocolate fortune in Francisco Lindor. Jose Ramirez, you have. So hope maybe they can turn some heads because, top two teams in each division make the playoffs. The league and the players' union have agreed to a 7-inning doubleheaders to make up for missed games due to coronavirus outbreaks. What is your take on this? Because
well,
I'm very curious.
I know your take is it's not real baseball. It's not real baseball if it's not 9 innings, right? A lot of people are gonna be like that. Oh, it's not baseball if it's not 9 innings. I feel like if they're gonna do something and they want to make up for the lost time, this is a good idea because you don't have a lot of time anyways. You're already playing 60 games in the season. These COVID outbreaks will continue to happen. First of all, I don't even know because I think the season's just gonna be over, so I don't see a point in it. Honestly, like you've already told me, like they're not quitting. They're not quitting on it. I see them like it's gonna be inevitable that they have to shut down if they continue to operate the way that they're operating.
I think if these 7-inning doubleheaders seem to outnumber your regular games, they should cancel the season
Yeah,
because the integrity of baseball is lost if you're playing 7 innings.
exactly.
It's like playing 3 quarters. It's like playing 2 periods. It doesn't work.
Not,
And I think if regular teams are playing 60 games, 9 innings, it kind of defeats competition. If you're playing more games 7 innings than you do 9 innings. So they should just cancel the season if more 7-inning doubleheaders are more played than regular 9-inning games. I'm not really not in favor of the second base rule and extra innings, but it seems to be working to end games quicker.
yeah, I guess. But we'll move along to the NFL and biggest news out of the NFL. They started off their countdown. Before we talk about the top five, I wanted to just say there's a lot of disrespect on my man, Cameron Hayward, and TJ Watt once again should have been higher up. Cameron Hayward had the best defensive grading last year, and he was what like 90th or 80th something. So that's a major respect, Cam, if you're listening. Cam Hayward, you should be higher up there, top 50 for sure.
Round noser.
But then if I did they released their top 100. Lamar Jackson, your reigning MVP, unanimous MVP, is number one, but Mr. Patty Mahomes is number four. They put Russell Wilson at number two and Aaron Donald is it Aaron Donald? Yeah, right. At number three. So as Jay put it here, I beg your pardon, because Patrick Mahomes is the Super Bowl winning quarterback, Super Bowl MVP, best player, biggest contract. I agree that Lamar's number one. Okay, I'm gonna agree with Lamar being number one because he was the unanimous MVP. He put up great stats. Obviously, didn't win the Super Bowl or anything, but Patty Mahomes is number two in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Has to be over Russell Wilson.
Absolutely.
Over Russell Wilson, like no offense to Russell Wilson, but he's a great player, obviously great dual threat quarterback as well. But Patty Mahomes is just an alien. He's another human being, just like Lamar is. Not he's more than a human being, just like Lamar is. Should be number
Take
two.
Patrick Mahomes out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Where would they be?
Nowhere.
Exactly. Like
Nowhere.
no, Seattle's defense is great,
Yeah.
and they just got better with Jamal Adams, obviously. Chris Carson is
Chris
there as your running
Carson.
back, established, not like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who isn't.
Yeah.
DK. And I also make the argument that Tyreek Hill is there and Mecole Hardman is there. But
Yeah.
I look at defense, and the Seahawks are leaps and bounds better than Kansas City's. And if
Way
you take
better.
away 30 points, like they averaged 30 points a game last year, Kansas City.
Hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. All those plays don't happen. Well, Mahomes flipping it to his left. Mahomes running it into the end zone in the was it against the Titans, I think, where he had that crazy run down
Yes,
the sideline and bodied his way through. You
yes,
don't
AFC Championship game.
yeah, AFC Championship game, all those comebacks. I'm sorry, obviously a big part Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and all those guys, but take Patty Mahomes out there, you don't win those games. It's just what the facts are. Tyrod Taylor, he's likely to be the Chargers' Week 1 starter over rookie, newly drafted Justin Herbert. I like this decision. Do you think it's a good decision?
Yeah, because I don't think if they wanted an NFL-ready quarterback, they would have picked Tua
Yeah,
or maybe Jordan Love, or trade up to get him. But Justin Herbert's got to be groomed to be played in the NFL. I think Tyrod Taylor deserves a shot to get that starting position. So, yeah, let's see what he does. Maybe he'll take
agreed.
the reins.
Maybe he will. Maybe he'll just be who knows, maybe MVP this year. Who knows? Some major NFL players to opt out of this 2020 season.
And there's some
Patriots,
big names.
some big names, mostly on defense, but still they're big names. Patriots linebacker Dante Hightower, Patriots safety Patrick Chung, Patriots offensive tackle Marcus Cannon, Patriots fullback
Patriots,
Danny
Patriots,
Vitale,
Patriots.
Patriots guard Najee Toran. I'm going to get into more of the Patriots situation after I name the rest of them. Washington defensive lineman Kalen Brantley, Cowboys quarterback Maurice Candidate. I always can't pronounce his name right. Seahawks guard Chance Warmack, Ravens receiver slash kick returner D'Anthony Thomas, Bears defensive tackle Eddie Goldman, Chiefs left tackle Nate Soldier, Chiefs running back Damian Williams, and I also added just happened to be Jets CJ Mosley, to opt out of the season due to his family health concerns. But I was looking on who was it? It was Schefter, and Adam Schefter, NFL insider, was talking to a Patriots executive, and the executive was saying that all these Patriots players is part of Bill Belichick's plan. He always he always has a plan.
I think that's his goal.
Either the plan is that he's trying to win the Super Bowl with a bunch of XFL players, or he's going to be tanking for Trevor Lawrence. Which do you agree? Do you think he might be
There's
doing that?
also a report, Bill Belichick, that Cam Newton's going to need to earn the starting position at Week 1.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
with that being said, I think Jarrett Stidham's your guy, and Cam
yeah.
Newton's going to have to win it.
That's
From
what I think as well.
Because if there's going to be no preseason, Jarrett Stidham's going to be your Week 1 quarterback for New England.
Yeah, which is gonna be great. And Cam Newton's on the sideline. Oh, he might come in for a few snaps, but Jared's gonna be your guy to start off the season for New England.
Won't
You heard it
that
here
be
first.
amazing?
Uh,
Not.
yeah. We talked about Tua earlier. Tua
Woohoo.
Tagovailoa
There it is.
passes Dolphins physical. Yeah, I didn't even have to read it. I just know it. No limitations on what he can do in training camp, obviously. So that's some good news for the Dolphins because I'm pretty sure he's going to be the starter for their team once the season
Absolutely.
comes.
Sorry,
Uh,
Fitzmagic.
yeah, sorry, but your time has come. Fitzmagic, I'll talk about Fitzmagic for a bit. His career, I think, has been a bit overshadowed or overlooked. Obviously, he's a journeyman, but he has some good stats, but
His
has
year in Tampa Bay was fantastic.
I'm saying so. He's had some good years, but overlooked because he's been a journeyman,
I
hasn't
love
won
him in Buffalo
anything.
too.
Yeah,
Love him in
so
Buffalo.
but he's not going to get this starting job this year. Tua's too good. The Chargers, big sign. They right after Miles Garrett was made a record-breaking deal for most guaranteed money. Here comes Joey Bosa out
From
of
the Ohio State
Ohio
University.
State to a 5-year, $135 million contract extension, 102 guaranteed. Like we said, the new defensive player record right a week or two after Miles Garrett signed his. What do you think of this deal for Joey Bosa?
Love it. Are you
Yeah,
nuts?
that's
He
kind of
deserves
crazy.
it.
He's,
It's a
but
point. He points up production everywhere you look. He's probably the best defensive player on that front. Him and Melvin Ingram, if I remember correctly, that's his name, on the Chargers defensive front. I think the Chargers have a very underrated defense if they can stay healthy. Derwin James obviously wasn't healthy for most of the season. He had that foot issue. Desmond King is
yeah,
also in that secondary. They got a good team. If they can just figure it out offensively, they could challenge for a wild card
yeah,
position.
they honestly could. We don't know what's going to happen. New season every season for the NFL. Another rookie, Joe Burrow, signs his rookie deal with the Bengals for 4 years at $36.1 million, making some moolah right off the gate. Did you not see the picture of Joe Burrow looking absolutely beast? Uh, he is working out. He looks like an animal right now. Like he
Some would
looks
say a
like
Bengal.
he could fight a Bengal. That's for sure. He could take down a full size Bengal. I think at this point. But yeah, him signing his contract obviously huge. They have a lot of trust in him, hopefully. But in my opinion, I'm going to stick by this. I think he's going to be a bust. But that's just Money Malcolm Combs' prediction. The Buccaneers signed veteran running back LaShawn McCoy to a 1-year contract. Uh, some implications for fantasy lineups. In my opinion, I don't think so. I still wouldn't take him for my fantasy team. But how about you?
Yeah, Shady's going to challenge for positions, for touches. Maybe it
Mm-hmm.
takes away from Ronald Jones. Obviously, we already did the AFC South, or NFC South, pardon
Yeah.
me. So maybe you can see less touches away from Ronald Jones and Shady gets some more. But like same thing in Kansas City, him and Damian Williams kind of challenge for 1 and 2. Anyone, he's got a ring now.
Yeah,
About
that's
time.
true. That's true. But that team is just looking nasty. When you look like if other than fantasy wise, that team's just on the offense.
Uh,
That exactly my word. That's exactly my thoughts. You just
if we could call
verbalized
it a
it just
sports gasm,
I
I think we're
think
going to
so.
coin that.
Yeah. Uh,
I like that.
that's you're gonna coin that, trademark that, put it on the shirt. Uh, Jaguars pass rusher Yannick Ngakwe is officially holding out for a new contract or to be traded out of Jacksonville as he did not report to training
No
camp.
surprise.
So Jacksonville's just going down the shitter day after day.
There's no sports gasms happening in Jacksonville right now.
No, none at all. None at all. And Lions receiver Kenny Galladay and tight end TJ Hawkinson both start training camp on the reserve slash COVID-19 list. Do they have COVID?
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know. Well, you don't want them to. Kenny Galladay is one of those receivers that a lot of
We're
fantasy.
high up in our fantasy rankings.
He is. He's like that prime guy.
But
TJ
there's
Hawkinson.
also a month to go before the season starts. So,
Yeah. So we don't know. He could recover quickly. So yeah, you're right.
speaking of recovery, we now have hockey is back, baby. Hallelujah. If I could sing it so nice. We got 2 games going on right now. We had the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Rangers, who ended up with the loss today against Carolina and a 3-2 defeat. And right now, as we speak, we have Chicago against Edmonton, who right now, Chicago is holding a 4-1 lead in the first period,
4-1.
ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Hayes with 2
Hayes
goals.
has 2 goals, correct. But McDavid did score a power play goal in the first period, in the first minute.
But also, Kubalik has 3 assists. We're not going to talk about that. The rookie
Calder Trophy
sensation.
nominee.
Yeah, but yeah, McDavid right off the gate trying to get things started. But I didn't. I just checked my phone as you said that, and I look at it. I'm like, what 4-1?
And I
Could that
believe
be
I
a
had
series?
in our pool. Thank you, Mateo Show, for setting that up. I have Chicago with the upset over Edmonton. Obviously, it's
Damn.
one game. Obviously, it's
It's
one
one
game.
game. And it's not even done yet, but we don't know. And
But
it's not
yeah,
looking pretty for the
absolutely
Penguins and Rangers.
ridiculous. If
Yeah.
anybody tuned into Carolina, New York this afternoon, what a first 5 minutes. What a first 5 minutes. Did you watch?
No, I was
Well,
out.
let me
So
fill you in, Malcolm, because you missed a lot.
let's hear it.
First minute, Jacob Slavin snipe show over Henrik Lundqvist. 1-0 Carolina. 2 minutes later, penalty. And you know what happens during that penalty?
A goal.
38-year-old Justin Williams drops the mitts
No, they
against
fought.
Ryan Strome. Feeding him.
No.
Feeding him lefts. Feeding him rights.
Justin
They go to
Williams,
the box.
legendary.
They're scraping blood off the ice. Unbelievable. Unbelievable 5 minutes. I couldn't help contain myself from screaming at the TV. It was unbelievable.
Oh, I can't wait for that Habs game.
If you ever heard the term sportsgasm, that was one of them.
That was one of them.
That was one of them. No fakes needed. Unbelievable. But there were also 14 combined penalties.
Damn.
Like, if you're a coach, you got – and you know what? Both teams, 1 for 14 on the power play. Combined.
That's
1 for 14.
horrendous.
There were 38 minutes of power play time.
That's horrendous.
Thank you.
Oh, that sucks. If you're a fan, you're just screaming at your TV, shoot, shoot, shoot on the power play.
And you know
Oh
what?
my
I
God.
found this very interesting. They brought in the Carolina Hurricanes anthem singer.
No way.
So they must be quarantining with the team.
Really? That's odd. I thought they just have one anthem singer for the long.
It was just the acoustic version. There was no singer. They would just play the anthem as is, like you do in elementary school, like over the PA
really?
system. Yeah, that's what they had for exhibitions. But speaking of exhibitions, Malcolm, who impressed you the most?
Who impressed me the most? I don't know. Let's see. Seeing Connor McDavid jump in that game.
With a disgusting goal. No look. 5-hole.
Disgusting.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to say Connor McDavid.
sportsgasm.
But it's like that is a sports guy as well. But no, he I can't really say that he impressed me because I think I was kind of with McDavid, with McJesus, with McDaddy. You're expecting
The daddy.
You're kind of expecting that. Trying to think of the other games.
Nathan McKinnon has not missed a beat.
Nathan
if you saw his snipe show, he went from 0 to 30 like that.
Trophy. The Philadelphia Flyers
everybody and snipe it.
But the Flyers winning over the Penguins, that was impressive to me because obviously the Penguins are a top 4 team, but they're one of the stronger teams as they always are in the playoffs. But them being able to dominate, well, not dominate, but win and win in OT. The Flyers showing some true grit there against their rivals in Pennsylvania. So kudos to them.
And we've already seen, like we mentioned, the Justin Williams, Ryan Strome tilt, but we saw our first fight, the restart between Islanders defenseman Johnny Boychuk and Rangers forward Brandon Lemieux, who is suspended for the first 2 games of the play-in series due to his, I believe, high sticking or slashing before the restart began. So I'm kind of shocked that we're seeing this much fights in a pandemic, but I guess there's no positive cases in the NHL bubble, so why not? David Pasternak's Twitter seems to be hacked, or wasn't.
Just drop him.
Because he posted a tweet saying that Washington Capitals enforcer Tom Wilson is the best goal scorer in the league. I think Pasta came out later and tweeted saying there may have been a bet involved with that tweet.
Yeah. I want to know what that was.
Hilarious.
I want to know what that side bet was.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Mike Babcock is now joining the University of Vermont as a volunteer coaching advisor. Does this signal the end of his NHL coaching career?
It's about time. Never liked the guy. Unless he was coaching Team Canada, never liked the guy.
So, that's my question too. Who do you think is going to be the next bench boss for Team Canada?
Claude Julien? I don't know.
Well, that's a great answer. I have 2 guys.
I don't know.
John Cooper or Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz seems to get the best out of everybody, and he's so well respected. But John Cooper needs to win some playoff games.
That's what I'm saying. John Cooper, unless he
For a
wins
cup.
some game with Tampa Bay, with that highly skilled Tampa Bay team, I don't think he's going to be really. If he can't get the best out of that team, how do you like? Obviously, when you put a coach behind Team Canada, like they're
Not
going to
doing
look like
much.
because you're Team Canada, right? They're just so good at hockey, but you can push those guys to be better than they already are. Barry Trotz for
Barry
sure.
Trotz is your guy.
Yeah, he's a good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And lastly, in puck, Chicago have banned headdresses at games and team sanctioned events. About time.
Yeah,
So
I think overdue.
very much overdue.
Yeah. We'll go into some bubble action in the NBA. The regular season games are now in full swing. Who started hot and who started cold to
Well,
kick
I
off the
can't
restart?
wait to
First,
mention the
first, first,
cold.
first. I'll go over the cold for you here. Chris Tatum, what were you doing? Shooting 2 of 18, 5 points. You make me so upset. I talk so high of you to Jay and Will Ord,
And you let me
and
down.
like you did. You let me down. Giannis also with that.
Don't cry, okay? I
Should
have
have been
Kleenexes if
fouled
you
out.
need them.
I wasn't watching. I couldn't watch the game. None of my streams were, but I was on the score right, refreshing. I go look, and I see like Fred Wanamaker's making points, or like Marcus Smart has like 10 points sometime. It was like the second quarter, and then I look at Jason Tatum's at top 3 points, one of like 12. Like at the time, I was like, what's going on? 2 of 18, my guy.
Oh, this just in. Philadelphia Phillies to restart Monday against the New York Yankees, and Miami Marlins will begin play Tuesday versus the Baltimore Orioles. There you go.
Right here first.
But let's go back to basketball again. For hot, PG is a bad man. Played very well against those Lakers. Very well.
Lakers won,
But I thought the Clippers sucked. Like, it was
yeah,
a tale
bro.
of two halves. They were brutal in the first
Yeah.
half. Now, LeBron kind of had his way with them like he was their daddy, because he is.
And Anthony Davis going off for like nearly 40 points.
He
And
almost had the Kareem look with the goggles, but everyone didn't see that.
JR is looking around. Bro, did Kareem join the team? No, that's just Anthony Davis. But also, James Harden last night, 49 points, almost a triple-double as well. Just like 1 assist off on like 2 rebounds off or something like that.
Don't put any cameras in front of Westbrook.
3 steals and 3 blocks. So, this is just in 2 as well, coming from the score of some college football news. Offensive line coach DJ Looney of Lafayette
Louisiana Lafayette.
Dies at age 31 from a heart attack following team workout on Saturday.
Which is today.
Which is today. So prayers to his family and everyone out there. That's some sad news. Maybe it was COVID related. We never know.
Speaking of COVID related.
Rudy Gobert, the man who shut it all down, makes game-winning free throws in his first game back. And he also had the first points of the season as well. How ironic is that?
I thought it was hilarious because Donovan Mitchell threw up an alley-oop to Gobert. I'm like, it's the COVID boys tossing it up.
That's just so funny how that happened. Where he got the first points and he got the game. And
you think so fondly of him, right?
No, I love him. Oh,
no sportsgasms for Gobert.
No, I don't like him. Even before COVID, never liked him. But whatever, he did good. I wish Zion and the Pelicans were able to pull off that win, but younger team, more experienced team on the Jazz, obviously. Moving on, since July 20th, there is still 0 positive tests of COVID in the bubble. MLB, the bubble works. The bubble works. I'm just saying, man.
What do you want?
What do you want from us? Just use the bubble.
Do it.
Next season, the NBA
tongue action there.
Still
watch out.
Be in
sportsgasm action.
Comes from the NBAPA Executive Director, Michelle Roberts. Do you think this is a good idea?
I think owner needs to reevaluate after this bubble is done and where COVID cases are in the United States of America. And I think you need to prep for what winter brings. And what winter brings is
Exactly.
flu season. And a lot of people are going to be
Exactly.
indoors, and not people are going to be outside, spaced out 6 feet apart. So maybe it is the best idea to stay in the bubble.
I think it is. Like you said, it's going to be flu season. That's when people are predicting for this second wave. America, you're still in that first wave for the United States of America, but Canada will be hitting that second wave soon when flu season starts. And then the cases in the U.S. are just going to skyrocket. And
Like they already are.
Donald Trump will just be continuing to add on to his massive genocide that he's.
Man, did you already said I think it was yesterday.
What do
He
you
said,
say?
I don't understand why people like me and they like Dr. Fauci. You want to know why they like Dr. Fauci, Donald?
He wears a
Because he does
mask.
great things for your country. That's why.
Yeah, Donald. We can talk about Donald Trump another day. We can have a whole Donald Trump on sports episode.
He's
I
fantastic.
don't.
He's
I
fantastic,
don't.
actually, by the way. He's fantastic. He's great. Fantastic.
Oh, he's the best world leader. No doubt about it. The Rockets guard Eric Gordon missed 2 weeks due to a left ankle sprain. So that's some bad news for the Rockets there because Eric Gordon's one of those Dutch
A
players who's
shootout.
pretty good.
Well, on that Rockets team, it's like your power
he's pretty
forward.
good. Obviously, you still have Russ and yeah, that's true because it's small ball on that Rockets team. But yeah, 2 weeks out, so hopefully he recovers quickly for the Rockets. Maybe come back
Halftime.
quicker than that. The NBA made sure that the ponds in the bubble at Disney were stocked with fish to make sure the players would catch some. That's
Hilarious.
some heartwarming news. They care about the players' mentality and their morale. They need to catch those fish because they don't
Like they're
catch
going
fish.
to eat it for
Man,
dinner.
I'm worth nothing. I'm worth nothing if I can't catch a fish. So NBA made sure of it.
Like they're
Sabrina,
making like 9 figures. Oh, I need to catch this pike.
exactly.
Man.
Sabrina Ionescu shines in second WNBA game. Stat line of 33 points, 7 assists, and 7 boards. Who was it? Draymond Green came out and said,
Okay, we have some beef with Draymond Green, first of all.
yeah, let's hear
I
it.
believe it was last week. Him and Masai Ujiri, he was working for NBA on TNT, and he was asking Masai Ujiri some questions. He goes, well, since you're in Canada, that Black Lives Matter, it really doesn't matter in Canada because you're in a different country. What an idiot. Like,
I
it's
hate him,
everywhere,
man.
man.
Man,
I
this
didn't like
guy.
Draymond Green to begin with, and then he
Yeah,
did that.
and they did
Like,
that.
good luck coming into Toronto next time you play.
Yeah,
Because we're
he's
going to
gonna
remember.
get heckled. You think us cheering at Kevin Durant getting injured was bad? Wait until you step back, your foot back in
Like,
Toronto, Draymond.
seriously.
Oh my
What an
god.
ignorant statement.
I don't know, just some mentalities of some people. I think that's just United States of America ignorance. Just they're the most ignorant country on this planet, so they just think everything's about them. There's racism everywhere where you go. You'll see it all over the world. It's not just an American problem, but it's dominant in America, and it's a systemic issue in America. But yeah, Draymond Green, and more Draymond Green news. Didn't he say about Sabrina? Oh, that number, like he just called her that number is pretty good, right? And then she's like, my name if you want to talk about me or don't say anything at all. And then there's some backlash to it because there's been cases on like in the NFL saying like 2 players saying, "Oh, that number 9 is really good," and whoever that number 9 was like, "Oh, I respect that. Thank you, thank you." But I guess for the WNBA, it's different because they want their names to be known. Because when you think of WNBA, they're not in the spotlight as much as NBA players, so you don't know what number they have. They want to put their name out there. So I get where she's coming from, but I feel like it might have been like an overreaction just a little bit. But I understand where she's coming from because she's trying to make a name for herself, and the
Disgusting
NBA,
game for her. If you saw
WNBA
Zion
players want to
Williamson
make
dropping 33, 7, and 7 in his first NBA game, everybody would be like, oh my God, he's the next LeBron.
exactly.
Sabrina in her third game up, I don't know, she rolled her ankle. So hopefully she doesn't. It's nothing more than just a little sprain and she'll be able to get back and doing what she does best and get buckets.
Yeah, fucking nasty with it. I know she
Fucking
dominated
nasty
us.
with it.
That's
Yeah, bruv.
sure. Not, yeah, bro. James Harden last night snapped for 49 points, like we said already.
Whoa, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. But Matt Dumba is the first NHLer to kneel for the U.S. anthem.
Waiting for that. Been waiting for that. Matt Dumba, real guy. Obviously, he's a person of color as well. So
But I believe there's somebody in the NBA bubble who doesn't stand for kneeling.
Well, I read into this, okay? So it was Orlando Magic, Jonathan Isaac, defends decision to stand and not wear a Black Lives Matter shirt during anthem. And he was saying that it's more, he feels like doing that, we have to get past that and get past skin color, and that it's more about the gospel. And he was being very religious and saying that everyone has to come together, right, and overcome this whole thing. Obviously, them protesting is their way of doing it. He's obviously still he's like, he believes in Black Lives Matter, but he doesn't believe that he doesn't believe in doing what everyone's doing. It doesn't mean that he's in the wrong. He has his own thoughts, right? He has his own beliefs, and you can't blame him for that.
Criticize him? No. If he feels like he's doing the right thing, let him do it.
Exactly.
Except wear masks. You need to wear masks.
You need to wear masks. Yes. Come on. There's no argument.
We're speaking of religion, and then we go across the continent to Europe. Soccer is their religion, and FIFA president Gianni Infantino is being investigated by Swiss authorities regarding secret meetings he held with the country's top lawyer. The reason it's Swiss authorities because FIFA headquarters is located in the Swiss capital of Geneva.
Yeah.
In the United States, thanks to FIFA's cooperation, over 40 FIFA officials have been convicted and sentenced.
Wow.
Infantino was reelected last year for a second term as FIFA president, but you remember this, his predecessor, Sepp Blatter, was convicted for bribery and money laundering. FIFA is probably the biggest sports corruption story ever. And I think that it's pretty hard to get rid of that if it's so deep-rooted in a organization like FIFA. Reports surfaced that the Premier League will not rule out having partial crowds when next season begins on the 12th of September. What are your thoughts, Mr. COVID?
They won't rule out having partial crowds. So they're not gonna have full stadiums, right? They're just gonna have
I would say like 30% capacity.
Yeah, that's reasonable, I think. As long as everyone's
doing that battening. Like Europe is on the mend. It's on the mend.
Like, yeah, exactly. You have the United States of America. They have more cases than all of Europe. So I think that Europe is obviously the countries, they're smaller than America and everything, but they're doing a better job at handling the situation, as is every other country in the world compared to the United States. So but why not? If they're doing what they're supposed to do, reward them with letting them go to games.
Sportsgasms. Ladies and gentlemen, the transfer window in Europe has been open, so you're going to be seeing a lot of this on the weekly recap because I love the transfer window. Italian club Napoli signed 21-year-old striker Victor Osimhen from Italian side Lille for a club record 94 million schmackaroons.
Jeez, man.
The 21-year-old sensation scored 18 goals last season, so you might see him partner up with Belgian international Dries Mertens. Fee for English winger Jadon Sancho has been set by Borussia Dortmund. German side, 60 million euro base fee package could rise above 100 million euro, which I see it happening because he's going to be the next David Beckham. You heard it here first.
Whoa.
Bayern Munich set a fee for Brazilian midfielder Thiago, a modest $35 million. He's been linked to Liverpool. Thiago is on the latter end of his career, so obviously you're not going to get the big money that you're going to get for a stud, but he still produces. Bournemouth have accepted Manchester City's $53 million bid for defender Nathan Ake, one of the most underrated defenders in the Premier League because obviously he plays for Bournemouth. But if anyone knows FIFA 20, he is one of those players where you can get for cheap and still produce, so obviously it's going to translate very well to real-life soccer. And, of course, next week is the return of the Champions League. Finally.
That's a sportsgasm right there.
Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry. But that is my favorite league. I'm sure it's a lot of other people's favorite leagues out here in Canada. It's going to be on DAZN. If you have a DAZN subscription or know anybody who has a DAZN subscription, you got to watch because it's the best league in all of Europe.
Yeah, No doubt about it. That's not even a question. We'll get into some college football now. Oklahoma signs head coach Lincoln Riley to a 6-year deal. He's the highest paid coach in the Big 12 and is the top 6 highest paid coaches in college football. In 3 seasons as head coach, he's won 36 games, not too shabby, and 3 straight college football playoff appearances, as well as having 2 Heisman-winning quarterbacks and 1 being a finalist for the award. So
Pretty good
Oklahoma,
track record.
yeah, Oklahoma keeping their head coach for another 6 years, not bad on their part right there. And some Power 5 conferences announced plans for their seasons. So the SEC and the ACC announced 10-game conference-only schedules beginning in early September. What are your thoughts on this? I know I don't like it, but what do you think about it?
Well, as well, the Pac-12 have also announced their schedule. It'll obviously be all in conference again. They will not start their season until late September 26th, I believe. My rule that I have on college football, if there is no school, there should be no football.
Yeah, man.
So if people aren't allowed to be on campus, I don't think you should be playing.
If the Ivy League is canceling, OUA in Canada is canceling in Ontario, like
They rely on that money
I know
way more than
money.
Ivy League and Canada do.
I know the money, that's the aspect, but
But you should put players' health first.
Exactly, and no one's invincible.
We're off to golf now. Everyone's favorite player. He's not mine because he's a bit of a cocky bastard.
I don't like him
cocky bastard. Brooks Koepka fires an open round 62 at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. He's lost the lead yesterday. He's right now Ricky Fowler, the Puma legend himself, has got to share the lead with Brendan Todd. But Koepka's on the man. He's got 4 under. He's fired 4 straight birdies, trying to make a late Saturday charge to make it in there. No fans will be held at the U.S. Open when it is at Winged Foot Golfing Country Club, which is located very close to the former epicenter of coronavirus, New York City. Okay. Former major champion Patrick Harrington will not travel to the United States for golf due to fears of safety. He says he's from his native Ireland, where he says that they have a much better control of the virus. Well, you can make the argument everywhere is better control of the virus rather than the United States. Could this be a trend for foreign players that are not already made home in North America?
Yeah. Honestly, like, why would they want to risk their health, go to North America where they don't? Do you hear in Miami that you're able to buy a fake negative COVID result? Like, you can buy a COVID test to say that you don't have COVID at all. Like, and apparently a lot of people do it. So what? Americans are so dumb. Oh my goodness, they bug me.
A select few are, yeah.
Yes, I'm not generalizing. I'm not saying all of America is dumb. I'm just saying all of these people who don't believe in the virus, don't want to wear masks, buying fake negative tests, just idiotic, plain stupid, simpletons, alumnics, I would call them.
Yeah, I'm not Latin, so I'll leave you on that one there, Mr. Dictionary. The PGA Championship is back next week at TPC Harding Park in the ever so glorious San Francisco, California. Did you drive or did you flew? So who do you have as your top 3 favorites to take home the Wanamaker Trophy?
I don't know. Who's playing? I don't pay attention.
Everybody is playing, minus Patrick Harrington.
Okay, so Tiger, and Tiger then.
I'm going to give you a more analytical view rather than you fake golf fans. Ricky Fowler has been playing some superb golf. I would love him to see him win his first major.
But Rory.
Obviously, you can't rule out Rory McIlroy as well. Bryson DeChambeau has just been tearing apart golf courses. I know a lot of people don't like him. I don't like him. But you can't ignore his average drive is over 350 yards. So he's turning it into a mini putt course. So maybe I think he's one on my top 2. And my sleeper as my third is this young stud out of Oklahoma State University. Go Cowboys. It's Matthew Wolff, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Wolff. He hits the ball real hard. He's got one of the most awkward stances in all of golf. But I think he's got what it takes to turn some heads and win his first major at TPC Harding Park.
Maybe.
There's your three.
Who
Let's see how
knows?
far it goes when we get to the next 2 weeks, or where we're at on Saturday.
We're
On
gonna get
movie
in.
day.
We're gonna get into something we don't really get into, and it was
As
requested
a
by
big
a
tennis pro,
fan.
big tennis guy. Oh, we don't get
Big,
into it. Come
big
on,
tennis guy.
Mr.
Tennis,
Offset Tennis,
tennis,
Malcolm
tennis.
Govius.
So a fan of ours, Jay, if you'd like to shout him out.
Yeah, Jay Malhedo, what's up?
Yeah, there we go. He requested that we actually break down what's happening. Oh, sorry. Throat. The Ultimate Tennis Showdown, which is the new up-and-coming tennis platform due to the ATP and WTA being shut down because of COVID-19. So I'll get into it a little bit here. The Ultimate Tennis Showdown is an international tennis promotion company organizing no audience, live broadcasted tennis competition events around the world. The cornerstone of the Ultimate Tennis Showdown is a platform for highly electric and engaging competitive experience for players with comparable money prizes on one side and fun and interactive experience to the tennis fans on the
There's
other.
some big bonuses, man, for winning
Yeah, and
some matches here.
there's some big names in here as well, like Jay was mentioning.
Richard Gasquet, David Goffin,
Just
some
like the accent.
perennial quarterfinalists in majors or Grand
Yeah.
Slam. You want to get tennis with it.
In Grand. Oh my gosh.
Am I getting some of the rules, or you still got this, Chief?
I got this. Don't you worry. So we're gonna get into the rules here. So there's
This is interesting.
two serve points each. So player A serves for 2 points, and then player B serves for 2 points. Then player A will serve for 2 points again, so on and so forth. If both players are tied at 2 quarters apiece, the fifth quarter is played in a sudden death format in which the 2 players serve just 1 point before alternating serves.
So it's like your tiebreak at 6-6.
Exactly, yeah, when you play a tiebreaker. The player with the highest total of most overall points through the first 4 quarters decides whether to start serving or to pick a side of the court, as you would at the beginning of a match, like in a regular match. If both players are tied, a decision is made with a coin flip, and the server chooses whether he wants to serve on the deuce side or the advantage side, which is rare because you can't really do that. You can't really choose which side you want to serve on, so that's pretty cool and unique. The first player to win 2 consecutive points wins the match. It's sudden death, which is crazy.
Sportsgasm.
There's a 15-second shot clock between 2 points. The 15 seconds starts when the umpire announces the score. If a player takes more than 15 seconds to serve, he receives a warning for the first time, then a 1-point penalty the second time. For every 5 additional seconds exceeding the 15-second time limit, the player receives an extra penalty point.
That's fantastic.
This is something that's even becoming, but it's something even that's happening in more matches where they have like a 30-second timer.
Like it takes forever to serve the freaking ball.
Exactly, and I agree. Like a lot of people take way too long, and with Nadal doing his little routine
and
picking on his wedgie, yeah. Like, oh my gosh, man, just serve the ball. You have a little routine. The player serving is the one in control of the tempo, which means if the player returning isn't ready, he's subject to penalties as well.
That's awesome.
First and then a point penalty. Obviously, you got to be ready all the time. You got to play out, no matter what.
You're playing Malcolm Govius tennis. You're playing ready tennis.
You're on the go. You're ready. You're up to my speed. Get off my court, man.
He owns tennis. If you haven't figured it out yet.
Basically, more or less, I own tennis. To make the matchups even more exciting, they're introducing the UTS cards. So before every match, the algorithm presents each player with 6 different Ultimate Tennis Showdown cards, which advantage each of them to a different degree, and will decide for how many points in a row each card will be active. Before each quarter, the coach can choose 2 out of the 6 cards for his player to use during the upcoming quarter. The players can't play 2 cards at once.
That's awesome.
And can't play a card.
It's like freaking what's it called? Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah, I know. I can't play a card at the same time as their opponent. That also means they can't play their card while a card previously played by their opponent is still active. These cards can't be used during the sudden death, and each player has to wait 20 seconds after using a card.
It's like video games, man.
It's pretty good. Like, obviously, you don't have the
very futuresque.
You don't have the ATP and WTA. Is it on the zone? Because I was trying to look for it. I don't know if I could find it.
TSN's got some.
Okay, so it might be on TSN and or the zone if you have it.
Or know somebody.
It is some good tennis. I did watch a few matches previously, and it was pretty exciting tennis. You don't have all those big names there,
Yeah, if
obviously, but
you're not a fan of tennis, like you can sit down and watch a 4-hour game. Watch this.
yeah,
It's quick, it's fast, it's very entertaining and engaging, and as
yeah.
well, a new sort of spinoff on W2A ATP is World Team Tennis, and it's the same kind of flight, same kind of deal with all this futuristic things. Like it's in arenas, it's very cool, and they have teams, and they work for records as well. Like you have just to name up the teams, you have the New York Empire, and then there's no slouches on these teams whatsoever. Jack Sock is on this team, Coco Vandeweghe, Klim Kleisters.
Wow.
We have the Orange County Breakers. The name could use some work. Gabrielle Dabrowski, if you're a fan of Canadian tennis, you know that name very well. Philadelphia Freedoms is one team. Donald Young, Sophia Kennan, two very good American players. We have the Springfield Lasers, who really don't have anybody really notable, but that's okay. I believe the Washington Castles, who have Venus Williams, if you know that name.
Do you know who that is? Yes.
I know. We have the Orlando Storm, not very well notable names. The Vegas Rollers, a disgusting name if you ask me, but not Sam Querrey, very good American player.
Querrey's pretty decent.
We have, and the last team, I believe, the Chicago Smash, who I believe is the most star-studded of anybody. Bethany Maddox Sands, who was the heir to the great Maddox Sands players from their previous generation. Sloane Stevens, who seems to be Josie Altidor's significant other. And everybody knows this one, if you're a fan of Canadian tennis. The lure of Hinty's chicken wings, Eugenie Bouchard.
I think a lot of Canadians know who Eugenie Bouchard is.
And as well, they are being played in the bubble at the Greenbrier, excuse me.
MLB, the bubble works.
Like if you're seeing tennis in the bubble, MLB, hop on the horse and go.
Oh my gosh, man!
But as MLB should get on their horses, we're gonna get onto ours, and we'll be seeing you back on Friday for Fantasy Friday.
We're gonna ride off into the sunset right now, me and Jay and our horses.
Isn't that adorable? But we're gonna say goodbye to the Matthews mustache, because tomorrow we have the very first game for your Toronto Maple Leafs against the Columbus Blue Jackets, 8 o'clock. So by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, this will be vanished.
Oh, dang.
And
I'm
will be vanishing as well. I know everybody's heartbroken. I know.
I was competing.
Don't cry. Don't cry. I know. You can send me your wishes. Yeah, I know. You're very strong. I know.
He's going to cry. Look at him. He's actually tearing up right now.
By the time Friday rolls around, hopefully the Maple Leafs will be sweeping away with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we sweep you away till Fantasy Friday. It's Jacob.
And Malcolm.
This episode of Unfinished Business is presented by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
And it is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.